Hi, this is Zack Martin, editor of Regarding ID magazine, Smart Card Alliance, Smart Cards and Government Show. Today we sat down with Core Street and talked about its work with CertiPath and physical access control.
GSA contracted with CertiPath to set up a proof of concept that you could actually use PIV cards in an effective and meaningful way to control physical access to doors and buildings and all of that. And CertiPath then turned around and asked Core Street, knowing that we were in that business, if we could do that. And the way that we came up, the solution we came up with for that is our F5 module, which extends the functionality of the door controllers out to do the validation right behind the readers. So that's where we got started. The intention of using the PIV card for physical access, there's three vulnerabilities that the F5 had to mitigate. One is you want to make sure you're getting presented a genuine credential and not a forged credential. You want to make sure that that is not a copied or cloned credential. And you want to make sure that the credential that's being presented is being presented by the person that was issued to. So it's not a lost or stolen credential. So those require different levels of authentication, and our F5 module exhibits all of those. You can set the level of assurance that you want based on your risk assessment of what would happen if somebody got in with a lost or stolen credential, for example. So the way that you ensure a credential is genuine is that you use digital signatures, which absolutely guarantee that that credential was issued by someone that you trust. The way that you ensure that the credential you are being presented hasn't been copied or cloned is you bind that to the card that it is being presented on, the token. The fundamental assumption there is that the private key associated with this credential, a PKI private key, cannot be removed from the card. So what the reader does is it says, here's a number I want you to sign with your private key, and then I will take that number and I will validate that signature using your public key, which I've already proven I can trust. And then finally, if you want to make sure that the person presenting that card is in fact the one that credential was issued to, now you have to have something about the person, either something they know, like a PIN, or something that they are, like a biometric, or both. And PKI is very well adapted to doing those things. One of the issues with using PKI in physical access is what is it going to do to the throughput? And of course, as you go up the scale in assurance levels with PKI, it's going to take a little longer. But the best way to answer that is probably just to do a demonstration and show you PKI at work, at the door, at a high level where you have to enter your PIN, something you know. We're going to do challenges, so it's the credentials bound to the card, and we're going to check signatures to make sure it was genuine and issued by somebody we trust, the highest level.
So I'm going to walk back through what it is that Bob just explained. We have a demo system set up here. We have Linnell as the access control system and a Verrit reader, and our technology sits in between the two of those to do the validation. And as Bob mentioned, that validation in this case is going to be showing and demonstrating the use of the PKI, where it does a key challenge, validates a signature on the card, and also does a PIN to make sure that the card holder is the one the card was issued to. This is the Verrit reader, and we'll insert the card. The display is asking me to insert the card because of the mode that it's in. It's going to ask me to enter my PIN. And it will now validate the card and then pass on the badge ID to the access control system and grant me access so I can get in the door. That just demonstrated the fact that the transaction time doing all of that authentication with PKI plus PIN is not much longer than doing a simple fast scan or a Chewid read. And it's entering the PIN and doing the higher assurance, so you're getting that higher level of authentication as required by the standards issued by the government. If the F5 were set into a mode where it was the highest assurance, which is the exclusion level according to 800.116, it would add, in addition to the card plus PIN, it would also add in a biometric. So that would add a little bit of time for the person to stick their finger on the sensor, but overall not increasing the time that much.